It's a pleasure having you, gentlemen. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure to be your program.
All right, let me start with you.
Thank you so much.
Great. Before I come to Mr. Hassan, let me start with you, Henry. What we saw happen with JAMB and the apology and admittance of responsibility by its registrar, how did that hit you?
Thank you so much. Well, I want to say that the man, having apologized to him, he might have taken the right step. But we are so much concerned because that single error made by JAMB has caused a lot of damages in the country. Most especially, we have students who are taking suicide as an option when that JAMB result was released. And that is quite appalling. So the man coming to national TV to share up about FTS and to apologize, I know the apology cannot change anything again because a lot of damage have been caused and a lot of things have happened. And in respect to that, I will just add my voice to every concerned Nigerian students that have in the past lent their voice on the issue. I will say that JAMB has lost the dignity that Nigerians have in the scheme, and personally, I will also comment that the scheme should be cancelled. Let us look for any other option.
I'm sorry, you said this. You said the scheme should be cancelled. Are you talking that? Are you suggesting or saying that JAMB should be scrapped? Is that what you're saying?
I am suggesting that JAMB should be scrapped. The tertiary institutions across the nation, they can have their internal test for candidates who have applied for one course or the other in their various institutions. So that will save Nigerians from all these shenanigans that is happening in JAMB.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let me bring it to the studio right now. I have with me in the studio Mr. Oladotun Hassan. Thank you for coming and thank you for joining the conversation. Now, my question to you would be, how did all of this meet you? Before I even get to whether you still want JAMB, on or it to be scrapped too.
Well, I believe as a matter of experience and for many who have passed through that tortuous journey of JAMB and WAEC and GC, exams system in this country, not just restricted to JAMB. Sometimes GC in 98 cancels some results at will. WAEC had their own issues just like JAMB is having issues. NECO has their own issues just like we are trying to relate. So trying to restrict our problem to JAMB alone is like we are just trying to be playing by half the truth. In as much as JAMB has its own peculiarity, and it's not the only exam student goes in with so much heartaches and the rigors, but coming from the scenario that occurred at the last exam of JAMB, I think system glitch or anyhow it might be interpreted an unexpected error. Negligence can occur in any situation. Just like a lawyer, if I have to talk, there's a system that is not the JAMB Registrar General that is physically caused that scenario to occur, because by virtue of efficacy of their duty, they've done all the due diligence to ensure that that exam goes through and had all the necessary process to ensure students start for that exam on that day. But what JAMB ought to have done when they experience that itches, they ought to step down the exam immediately, ask those students to allow them to review that process. They can shift it by 1 week. It couldn't have even be a situation whereby students are scoring lower than their parents. Even students that don't even read will use the scenario of JAMB to claim at JAMB fielding. Unserious students will equally line around. Not that they are not serious students, but it's now behoves to what extent is all our exams, even in tertiary institutions. You go to tertiary institutions, there's examination malpractices. You go to JAMB center, there are special centers. You go to WAEC, a lot of rigors that is affecting our system. We have some system decay. So looking at it from the angle of JAMB, to me, it's just like we are trying to play with the truth. But for me, what should be done is the Ministry of Education should look holistically the education system. And we brought out some of this policy. There was a time during the early part of this administration, we prefer some solutions to government in terms of funding, academic proficiency of students and how students can be managed, in terms of not every student must go to the university. Some should be trained to go for technical training. You know, parents, in terms of even a lot of students are just used to these triangular courses: accountancy, banking, business admin, nothing else. Nobody knows that there are AI, there are different courses.
So you're talking, so basically what you're doing right now is you're saying an overhaul.
An overhaul. Okay. From the amount of years we spend, from primary, I don't say anything that makes you spend all the whole 6 years. You can spend 5 years for primary education. That's when you get to the university. The minimum you should spend in university should not be more than 3 years. Even America spent 3 years for you to earn a degree. So going back to all those scenarios, then graduating, NYSC is there. If you are talking about scrapping, you talk to scrap the NYSC, a lot of things will be scrapped. Let's now have one unified exam. No need for NECO, because it's like you are not so sure of which exam will make you succeed. If you are allowing NECO here, you are allowing WAEC, we must have a unified exam. Once student knows that it's a unified exam, we don't need too many layers of exams. You know, finishing your WAEC, let JAMB still be the processing exam body. JAMB can now restrict you to no more post-UTME, because to me, for post-UTME to come again is just like challenging the integrity of JAMB.
So for you, just quickly before we go on,
just one exam from the JAMB. Let JAMB now strictly go to each institution.
So JAMB should
go and conduct exam at each institution. So that at each institution, if you know you are going to this school, let JAMB now be the gate man at that school.
Okay, and not the institution.
Because in order to guarantee the independence of that external exam, but at the same time, the school itself will be part and parcel of monitoring and evaluating that same process.
All right, so you are saying that in one word, JAMB should not be scrapped.
JAMB should not be scrapped, but just a proper review should be done to ensure that from SSE to even primary education, to everything should be restricted.
All right.
So some of all this waste of timeline should be reduced.
Should be minimized.
So no need for you to wait for JAMB. So once you just pass your WAEC, approach the school, then go there. Then there'll be a unit in every school.
All right.
JAMB unit should be in every school.
We'll come back to this, Mr. Hassan. Let's quickly go on a quick break. Once we return, we'll definitely dig deeper. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Of course, it's still Politics HQ on New Central Television, and we are discussing the recent events around JAMB. I still have Henry Okunomo with me, and Mr. Oladotun Hassan is with me in the studio too live. Let me come back to you, Henry. Before we, of course, wrap up on this segment of the program, let's broaden the conversation to look at Nigeria's education curriculum. Some have argued that it needs, just like what Mr. Hassan has said, an overhaul to meet up with today's world. I mean, the world is talking about AI, and maybe some courses might just need to be upgraded. Aside courses, even the duration of study. There are people that will tell you, oh, what I work with today was the certification I got that I just did for 3 months, compared to spending years in the university. So I'm with you on this, Henry. Do you think, what do you make of Nigeria's current education syllabus across schools? Henry, are you there? Okay, I understand that we're trying to connect with Henry. Maybe I'll bring the question back to you, sir. You are given some sort of a practical angle to addressing this issue.
Like, I was once a former NANS chairman of National Association of Nigerian, so I've led student unionism in my school days as a general secretary, acting clerk. So, with the experience of student unionism, it's not just about you say, oh, go and let the JAMB registrar go and resign. That does not make any reasonable iota solution. What makes solution is this man has been very remorseful. Yes, we must acknowledge it. It's very rare in our African land for people to come say sorry. Sorry is not even part of our culture. Sorry to say, because we have this tight power to power, so tight approach to power. So when Ishaq Oloyede, what Ishaq Oloyede did shows somebody who's ready for solution. But for me, I would have just advised that how is he going to equate those that equally passed the exam? How are they going to conduct the exam for those that actually passed earlier? How would it? So it would have been a system for this year, for the fact that the system occurred the way it is. JAMB on its own should provide a subtle ground for those students that chooses those schools, make inroad for how best those schools with whatever score they have. JAMB should be able to have, there's what we call waiver.
What
waiver,
do you think?
That should be what is called waiver. Even in any business environment, JAMB should have just seek for a waiver to see how this student that sat for this year's exam should not be allowed to go and resit for another exam.
Some people are saying that some sort of compensation should be paid.
No. To me, that is really headless, because you can't achieve any. How are you going to pay compensation for those students? Is it because of the glitch? No. To me, I will not every situation will raise compensation. It's not mature. The matter is not even mature to that level. The only crisis we had is the fact that the girl that committed suicide, I believe, Mr. President, the Minister of Education, some high-level Nigerians should have paid visit to that family, including JAMB Registrar, to commiserate with that family, which is very important. And I'm using this medium to commiserate on behalf of all Nigerian youth, the entire Nigerian populace, that the family should bear the loss. It's not intentional. It is just the hardened psychological trend we are now having, that, in our own days, you sit for exam, you fail, you go back, they will even they will tell you, you have this heart that you are very, not just made to go and write exam, but to confront life challenges. If you cannot confront JAMB and your community, how are you not going to confront the real economic life, whereby you need to face reality, face to face with life, leave exam out of it, face life on its own. Either you're in America or you're everywhere, life must confront you. So there must be more orientation from the secondary level, the curricula, and that is why I said from every primary to secondary school, students are too reduced to some courses, and that's why I said students that are going to tertiary institution, that school, once you are approaching that school, the school will show you all their gallery of what courses that you can go for. They will advise you. There must be pre-advisory counseling. You can't
before
before you go into from the secondary school, you must have an advisory counseling of, is this student fit for this course? Students are just allowed to pick courses without proper guidance. And it will not just now be the problem of JAMB, it will become a national problem that you keep graduating students that are unemployable because they lack the mental composure. Character is even very, very minimal. You see, even from student unionism, from every approach, not everybody has that moral latitude to manage the situation. And this is part of education. So education funding is equally very important. Yes, the present administration has done greater mileage by giving loan, increasing student approach to student welfare, but it's not enough. Education funding is multi-sectoral. Private individual, private institution, where is their own leeway to fund education? There must be, in as much as we have the education trust fund, is there proper deduction from the tax system that, let's say, 5% of total earnings across both personal income tax, corporate tax, are going into education support.
Okay,
Because achieving 35% benchmark, which we propose to the government, that for government to achieve a national mileage of development, investment in education is not for a commercial enterprise. Education should not be for money-making venture, for how much you can pay or this. Definitely, you must pay. Education, free education will not make you be a brand. But even if those payments must come in, then the enabling environment, the institutions must be equipped enough to galvanize. If you are going into law, you know that that school is equipped. Engineering, that school is. Engineering students don't even know how to manage, how to do something. So they have the problems are enormous. So, but for the JAMB, let JAMB be the the
gatekeeper.
At each institution should have a department of admission. All right. That department should conduct entry exam, and they should set their. You already know your pass mark from the date of your writing.
All right. Just quickly before I let you go, I mean, some will tell you that we are beginning to see a wave of young persons that seem disinterested in going to school. There was, this video I saw of a lecturer, addressing an empty class and all of that. Really not sure of the backstory, but if you ask an average student right now, they'll say, oh, they know one boy, on the streets who is doing well and maybe went to school and is not even using his certificate, so to speak. And that brings me to the question of how do we make education in 30 seconds attractive to this young generation that all they want to do is be on social media and make videos and get paid?
Well, to me, it's all about orientation. It's all about government's decisive manner of dealing with the issue. Firstly, there should be some attractive legis. You get to school from, if you can make this grade, this will be there. Not just meeting the fives, not the A class student alone. Even for the fact that you are an average student. Average students should also be recognized with 1 or 2 scholarships. Not be proud of, because some students, because they don't meet those grades, because some people have retarded them that if you cannot be on the A class, you are not entitled to. There should be some leverage that they can as well enjoy. Then the media, the kind of thing that display education is a scam, all this cliché affecting, and the current generation are more on gadgets. So government should go in, not to just cancel attack on social media via a law, but they should go and see what can be rebranded, the information passing. Then there should be more adverts, more storylines that tells the, more mentors. We are not talking about mentee-mentor anymore. Students don't even know what is about, what do they have to learn from a mentor. So they don't know. So because lack of reading is also part of it. So, and parental guidance. A lot of students lack parental guidance. So these are issues that the government must play their role, religious organizations must play their role, even the entertainment industry. They should reduce more of flaunting wealth above the ability for you to work.
I mean, this, of course, is a compendium of issues, but I wish we could continue. Thank you so much for your time. As always, it's a pleasure having you again, Mr. Oladotun Hassan. Once again, thank you.